Go with it.
Hi everybody, welcome back. I'm Christine. I'm here at Creekside Nursery in Dallas, North Carolina with my beloved Jenny.
Hello friends, welcome.
Creekside Nursery is where it all began for me. Before Cabin Creek, there was Creekside. I worked here doing some landscape design and helping out with the nursery and just selling plants, and I absolutely fell into the world of plants. And Jenny was I call her she was the gateway to all the animals because
I'm her enabler.
Yes, she enabled it all. Once upon a time, they let me adopt some of their chickens, and that was it. That was it. I was hooked, and chicken math is a real thing. And of course, you guys you've been following for a while. You know how the chicken thing has gone. So today, I want to show you her amazing chicken coop. Now, in a video that we just made on her channel, Gardening with Creekside, we planted this bed. Go over there and see the process of how we planted it, why we chose what we chose, and you know, just how it's going to grow out. And then we are going to move her very sweet chickens into the new coop at the end of this video. But you know, because we're back where it all began for me, another thing I need to do before I leave here today is I've got to grab some plants from the nursery to shore up a couple of the landscapes around my house. After being here and seeing some of the gardens in person for the first time, I realized that I've got some empty spots. I've got like 10 acres of empty spots.
Peer pressure among gardeners is real.
So this is gonna be expensive shopping trip. If y'all could watch this twice all the way to the end, that would be great. But I want to turn the camera around and show you this coop. A long time ago, I did a video about coops and coop safety and just what you would want in your run and in your coop. So we have a real live version of it right here. It was just installed and just landscaped. So without further ado, let's turn it around and see what all the fuss is about.
Yep.
Tell us all about it.
Okay, so we, like Christine said, we had chickens years ago and we loved them and they were wonderful, but life just got really crazy with the nursery and we just weren't taking care of them. So Christine, yes, she adopted some of our girls, so we kind of got out of chickens, but I love them so much and they were so much fun. So I told Jerry, it's like, I want to do chickens again. So we have 11 girls, and this time around we wanted to move the location of the chicken coop because they were really close to the house, and while we love chickens, they can get a little odorous. So we moved it up here to up on a hill. It is still close to the house, but we're not going to get the fragrance of the chickens, plus we don't have as many. We ordered, this is the American Coop from Carolina Coops. It is a North Carolina company. They specialize in chicken coops, and you can order them just directly from them, and you can either install them yourself or you can have them come and install it for you. We're pretty handy people, so we went ahead and installed it ourselves, plus it's a great way to save some money doing it yourself. So just gonna run through and show you kind of like the features of it, because once we started exploring it, it was such a great coop, how it's made, all the design features, the safety features, and we knew that even if we tried to replicate the design ourselves, it was just a whole lot easier and honestly cheaper to buy it directly from Carolina Coops. So this is the American Coop. It is 6 feet wide. It is 24 feet long. We did the longest run that we possibly could do because chickens need room to free range and to stretch their legs. Because we have so many gardens, we are not gonna let them free range, so that we want to have as much room for them to explore as possible within the run. So 6 by 24, it comes as a kit. Every piece is numbered and you assemble it. So everything you see here came with the kit, which is amazing. It was natural, and then we decided to paint it white. It is made from Douglas fir, so it is going to be a really high quality wood. So it's Douglas fir, and then the bottom pieces though are treated lumber because you can set it directly on the ground. Love the paneling on this because it is a very, very fine, I don't know, weave check. It's like hardware cloth, so it's really small. So you don't have to worry about snakes coming in here. We love our black snakes, but I need them not to eat my eggs. And so snakes cannot get through here. Mice cannot get through here. So it's really critter resistant. We did install a predator guard all the way around. You can get one from Carolina Coops, but we just did it ourselves. In our video that we just did a little while ago, we showed you that. But basically it's chicken wire that is attached to the base and then comes out 3 feet. And then we just planted directly on that. So if we have raccoons or possums or whatever, and they try to come in and dig to get to the chickens, they can't. So that's a great aspect of it. Has the metal roof, has venting in there, and then what I love about this is like the actual kind of coop part. So you will see that it has, this is their little house, right? So this is where they're gonna sleep. But it has all of these windows that will open and close. Right now we have it open and there's these little wood pegs that you can set however, you know, much you want it open. Since it is the summertime, we have it opened at the absolute max. Clear plexiglass, so in the wintertime we can lower it and then latch it, so that way they're nice and insulated in there. But the design is fantastic because these will swing open. Let's see, there we go. This opens up, and again, nice and secure in here. There is the hardware cloth again up at the top, so it vents, but the critters can't come in. There are roosting bars. This was a little extra. Went ahead and paid to have them where they wrapped them in ropes. That way it just kind of helps protect their little tootsies a little bit. So they have their roosting bars. The nesting boxes are right here. There's 3 nesting boxes. The coop, like the little roost, then that sweet little ladder so that they can go out. And then they offer, if you want to get the hemp bedding, you can get that directly from them. Since I could get it from them and it just shipped with the coop, I went ahead and got 2 bags of the hemp because hemp is supposed to be what? Less dusty? Less dusty.
I think it's supposed to be more resistant to some of the things that carry over in the soil.
Like mites and parasites.
Yeah,
yeah, all that kind of stuff. I really hope that they're not spending very much time in here though. That's the idea, right? Is that they come in here to sleep and to lay their eggs, and other than that, they are outside. So yeah, so we went ahead and painted everything white like I said. It gets all closed up in the summertime. Of course, all the windows are open. Wintertime, we'll close them. I'm sure Christine has talked about this, that because we're in North Carolina, we don't really have to worry about heating our coops because we have to worry more about it being too hot in the summertime and then too cold in the winter, just because we're blessed to live in North Carolina. So that is that, but also the whole run goes the whole entire length, and so they can come under here, so they get the full 24 feet of a run. Oh, forgot to tell you this, not that I'm gonna open it because my shavings will fall out, but this whole door right here, it has latches on the inside, so you can lay it down, so when it's time to clean it, you can just come in here and scrape it out. You're not having to go in there and like what I would do in my old coop and like manually shovel it out. So, I mean, that is fantastic. And then,
hold on, one of my favorite things.
Oh yeah?
This material
below
is
I forgot.
Not wood.
Yeah.
It's like
it's
some
like
kind of flexi
it's a
resin?
It's a, yeah, it's a, lack of a better word, hard plastic, but it's not, I forget what it is. We'll have to look. We can throw that up on the screen. But again, it makes it super easy to clean and or disinfect if you need to, which disinfection.
I know about
Christine knows all about some disinfection.
If you hopefully never have a disease wipe through, but if you do, it is, you know, wood is really porous and it's very difficult to get an astringent or a cleaner to
So this
properly.
one latches at the top, so that way that one's nice and secure, and then that, we need a little WD-40. Then that one latches in, so like this whole thing, right, it's not gonna go anywhere. It's not gonna pull. And then this is so much fun. So when it's time to collect eggs, I think we're gonna get our first eggs the end of July, because that's when they're gonna be about 18 weeks. You can come in, and there's their little nesting boxes. So you can just go in there, grab your little eggs, and again, it's that same material that's in the coop. And then we decided to put our human door, as they call it, the human door, in here. So this is Brenna. Brenna is our German Shepherd who's not quite 2 years old yet. Very curious. This will be the only time that this will be one of the last few times that she's ever in the chicken coop. But again, another window here. And then if you wanted to be able to close the girls up at night, you can do that. And it has that great safety latch on it. Probably because our girls aren't used to having this much freedom. For the first couple of nights, maybe the first weeks, we'll make sure that they go to bed naturally on their own and not try to bed down here, and we'll close them up. That way they're like, oh yeah, okay, this is where we sleep and this is where we play and have fun. So we'll probably do that, like I said, maybe for the first week and just kind of check on them. But yeah, so we'll have their food and water in here. Right now we don't have water run up here. That will happen next week. Jerry, my husband, has promised that will happen next week, and we'll have the automatic waterers where they have the little nipples, because that just makes life so much easier.
It's clean. It's so clean.
Yeah, and I know, but it's like, okay, because it's white, and you're like, okay, it's a chicken coop. Why are you going to paint it white? But yeah, I know it's a chicken coop. But on the inside, you know, they'll have their fun in here, and we'll have to put in like some more mulch. But yeah, I mean, you can just let them come in here. They've never had this much room. So I just know they're gonna have a great time, and I love just the airiness of it, right?
Oh yeah.
Because you know.
So shady.
So shady, because this is a full hot sun area, but because of the roof, I mean, it's really pleasant in here.
It really is. And look, we see our landscape
Yes.
from the inside for the first time.
And so of course
so
we did a
gorgeous.
lot of plants that have, we'll do pollinators. And so the chickens may get a little snacky in the day. But
another thing I love is that you can't lock yourself in the coop.
yeah.
There was this lady on social media who actually, the only way she got through to somebody to come get her out of her coop was she posted it on social media.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Well, in my old coop one time, the kids accidentally locked me in. And I was sitting, because I didn't have my phone with me, so I was screaming because everybody else was inside. So yeah, you can't lock yourself in.
They will
So-
always find Mom when it's time for dinner, though. Where is
I
she?
know.
Where is my dinner?
I know. Yeah. But even, you know, with it being so open, it's great ventilation, which is great for the health of the chickens, right? We need to have good ventilation, and yeah. So that is the coop.
This is a perfect space. I love it. Of course, now I will have to replicate this. Okay, so now that we've done this tour, we are gonna go back to my favorite spot, into some of the gardens. I am seeing these in person for the first time. So I really wanna take a close glance and pull some inspiration from Jenny's gorgeous gardens in her backyard and the new berm that they've done. And I think it will give me a ton of ideas about how I can really help to landscape some of our spots a little bit better. We have a lot of programs out on the farm. We have birthday parties, and we have field trips and all kinds of stuff. And I am not going to apologize for wanting my homestead to be Pinterest worthy. I'm just not. That's who.
Enjoy your space.
Right.
I mean, because that's
Right.
where you spend all your time.
Yes.
Right.
Life is so short. Life is it is just too, and life is hard. So I'm going to
Plant.
treat myself. You ready?
I'm ready, because this is the fun part, because this is, oh, you need that plant. Oh, this will be great.
I didn't bring the big car though.
We can arrange delivery. You're special. We can do delivery.
So before we get too far into the landscape, we've got a little flower farm situation going on here, and I know y'all see that. Hold on.
She's got a wispy.
Wispy. Before we go too far, I want to see this. Now, these dahlias have a pretty special origin.
They
right?
do. Half of them do. Yes.
Oh, that's right. Half of them. So
Half of them do. So we work a lot with Proven Winners, and it'll be, oh my gosh, 2 years ago now, Laura from Garden Answer, she and Aaron were converting their, basically like, what, hoop house, hot house, whatever you want to call it, into a heated greenhouse. And since they knew that Jerry and I have done this many times, they invited us to come to Oregon to help redo that, right, install the heater and all this other stuff. So we went out there, and when we were out there, what's happening to Christine happened to me, because it was like September and Laura's dahlias were in all of their glory, and it was insane. I thought dahlias I just thought they were too like fussy, and I would never be able to do them. And so she convinced me. She's like, no, they're the easiest things ever. Come this spring, I'm going to send you a box of my dahlia tubers. So that was last year in May that I got them, planted them. So half of these dahlias are hers, and then I definitely caught the dahlia bug. So last fall, I may have placed 1 or 2 orders for some dahlias.
Tubers.
For just a couple more tubers, and I ordered so many that I ran out of space here. I literally planted them, and I was like, okay, I had like 6 left over, right? And I was like, okay, I'll find somewhere in the gardens to do it. Literally went in the house to go eat lunch, and I was like, it's hot, I'm gonna go sit on the front porch. There was another box of dahlias that had arrived. It was like another 30 dahlias.
So you were like, Jerry, we need...
Right. And then I was like, oh, well, I'll just give these away, right? And then I made the mistake of like looking up and seeing what the colors were. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna keep that one. Oh, I'm gonna keep that one. So if Christine, they have been so prolific this year and grown so much. So if Christine gets the dahlia bug, do you have dahlias?
I do.
Do you?
There was one at our home that Amanda, who lived there before us, had planted, and I divided it this year, and I've got them intermingled with my tomatoes. It's
fun.
So gorgeous. I don't remember where I was inspired to mix mix business with pleasure.
I love it. So see now, so if you plan, then that can be part of the homestead, and you get a cut flower garden.
Yes.
With dahlias.
I need all the things. Come get your fruit.
Yes.
Pick a couple flowers while you're here.
Yeah. That would be
I see
great.
some colors I need, so let's take a closer look. So this is one of your favorites. Look how petite this is. Here we are in Jenny's backyard. This takes me back because many conversations and special life events have happened here in this backyard. In fact, Jenny and I watched a monarch emerge out of its chrysalis, and together we tagged it together for the monarch tagging program, and then put it on her butterfly bushes back here. I mean, just so much. This place has evolved, and this is the first time I'm seeing a lot of what has happened in the last year. So I love this space. I would love to recreate this. One thing that I'm particularly drawn to is yellow and purple. So in color theory, drawing from opposite ends of the color spectrum is supposed to be more aesthetically pleasing, and I really think it is. So even when I'm like using essential oils, I love lemon and lavender together. I think they smell amazing, and I don't think it's an accident that one is yellow and one is purple. Nothing is a coincidence. Anyway, I'm obsessed with the yellows and the purples right here, so I know that I want to do that. Now, in my front area, when we moved into the house, we had holly bushes, and we had a false cypress, like a hinoki cypress, and there was another. It was so massive. I think it was beautiful when it was small, but as you know, sometimes in landscaping, the things outgrow their space, and especially because the holly was right by the handrail where you walk down, we were getting poked every time. It was on the sidewalk. It was so, we yanked it out using our golf cart, of all things. That thing has really chugga-chugged its way into being important in our lives. Anyway, so I put 2 lime lights there. So there's two lime lights right there right now, because on the other side of our steps are 3 mature lime lights. So right here is a little lime that's coming into all of her glory. You can see a beautiful, it's like a muted white. It's a limey white color. So I can see right here, I love the coloring of this. I love it combined with this yellow and purple that's down here. Jenny, remind me what this purple is called.
So, and then I remembered, I told Christine wrong, so it's not Christine, but Little Lime Punch.
Little Lime Punch.
So, but it has the same colors and characteristics, but this is Little Lime Punch, first of all, so that's my mistake on that one. Sorry about that. And then this down here is the Artist Blue Ageratum, which is the first year for us, but love this plant.
It is a shock of purple, but you know, it's almost like a French blue purple.
Yes.
It's more unusual. I mean, look at the indigo, your petunias right there, your super petunias.
Yep.
That is purple. which I still love with the yellow, but I am a sucker for muted colors. So I think I definitely want to take these home, put some around the little limelight. Now, what's really cool about filling in this area this year, now eventually these limelights are going to get absolutely massive. Limelights can get 6 to 8 feet tall. I mean, we've seen them get bigger. Gosh, yours over here is
every bit of 10.
Is huge. So in the long run, I don't need to put perennials around this because they're going to be shaded out. They're going to be crowded out. And crowded gardens, in this situation, this is not crowded. This was like perfectly planned. They are
full. And that's
full.
the great thing, is that when I tell people, is when you're trying to fill in temporary spaces,
yes,
that's where annuals are perfect.
They are your friend.
Yes.
Your annuals, I mean, your perennials, you need to leave room for the Holy Spirit. But when it comes to your annuals, they can be dating, not mating.
Because there's, what is it?
Life is too short for
minimum spacing.
It is.
That's right.
It truly is. So I love this. But while we're here, can we look at the whole garden?
Sure.
This is like walking into Narnia. This is the Narnia of gardens. You've really created the garden rooms that you were going for a long time ago with your roses.
Because when we built this house, we built in a field. So any planting that is on this property, like in this space, we planted. And we've been in our house, okay, Emily's 19 years. My oldest is 18, so I have to backtrack some. So 19 years, but sometimes I think designing a space when it's wide open can be very daunting because you don't have references, right? There's nothing. So this is one of my favorite beds. This is what we call the forest pansy bed because it's real original. This is a forest pansy red bud. It is, again, referencing my children. My Jackson is 13. I bought this when I was pregnant with him. So this is 12 to 13 years old. It's probably a 15-gallon when we planted it. And it has just loves this space. So in the back, it is deep, deep shade. And then as you come forward and then around on this end, you get all the levels of sun. So in this one bed, I have everything from pure deep shade to blazing hot afternoon full sun.
That's quite a complex growing situation to figure out, and you definitely have mastered it.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
It's a lot of fun. It has been one of my favorite, and one of the reasons that it's one of my favorites is because my mom and I have spent hours upon hours over years working in this bed, and it's just a lot of fun. So this is the corner that gets the full hot afternoon sun. This is a hardy geranium. This is Roseanne, and she is, oh my gosh, just one plant, gorgeous, right? And then talking about annuals moving in, these are Nemesias. We're trialing them for proven winners. It'll be a new introduction next year. And this is coconut Nemesia. I think it's coconut, something like that. But Nemesia, the point is, me telling you this, it has beautiful white flowers with a yellow center. But Nemesia tends to be a cool weather plant. And you can see that it's starting to peter out. Christine, we have a little friend camoed on the... So the Nemesia is kind of petering out in the heat of the summer. So once the true heat hits, I'll pull it out because just fries. So it'll be gone. And I may put something there and I may just leave it blank. But
that's the joy of annuals.
It is.
You can change your mind from year to year or season to season.
Yes, and that's why I love annuals, because I can be so ADD, you know, and just like, oh. Okay, come over here because I want to show your peoples. So this plant right here is a Rose of Sharon. It is a white chiffon, and gosh, would that be 4 years ago, maybe? Christine found this Rose of Sharon on like clearance, I think, at at a big box store, and it was like, what, a 3-gallon? And so she knew that I love these plants. I didn't have one, and so she bought it for me. So I have affectionately dubbed it, not Rose of Sharon, it's Rose of Christine. And it is so happy in this space, but it's a big one, so she'll get really tall and fill in. But I love, like, when you're looking at, like, from this perspective, that You've got, like, it gives a nook, right? It creates privacy. So you've got the forest pansy with the dark color up here. You've got the rose of Sharon that will be pure white flowers all over it. The roses, the clematis, the trailer. Then this is a little quickfire. Oh my word, she is not little. And then yin and yang viburnum. But it creates privacy. Like, my daughter just left in her car because you didn't see that, right? I can hear it, but you didn't see it. So anyway, I love how this corner has come in, and without this Rose of Christine, we wouldn't have that beautiful privacy.
All right, I'm super curious about this curve right here that ends in purple. Purple might be my favorite color.
So, okay, I am a huge fan of lavender, but we live in North Carolina with thick red clay soil, and that is not lavender's friend. And I have killed many different types of lavender, many different ways, and I have tried everything: containers, ground, different spots in the garden, like you name it, I have tried it. And I was ready to wash my hands of lavender. And a friend of ours who works for Walter's Gardens said, you need to try Phenomenal Lavender. So this is the plant that Christine needs in her life, because Phenomenal is phenomenal. This is 3 plants. I probably planted them too close because the spacing says 3 feet, but I really did not have high hopes for this plant, I'll be honest. And I sold it short, literally planted it probably, sorry, that's the alarm going off. Planted it last year in like July or August. It was very hot, 1 gallon size plant, plopped it in the ground, gave it some water, right, but not very much, and literally did nothing to it. And then this is what happened this spring, this season. I mean, it is massive, it is gorgeous. The pollinators are all over it. Divine, like true lavender. It is. I need to cut some and dry some, bring it in the house, but oh my gosh. So I'm trying to convince Christine to bring it in.
Well, you know, I have some space next to those lime lights.
Be gorgeous.
So that may be.
It's really like a small shrub.
Look at the white in contrast with the purple. That I would love to bring that into that space.
So these are Incrediballs, but the lime lights, I mean, is going to give you that exact same look, right? So that's where you find inspiration. Even though she has lime lights, I have Incrediballs, but you tweak it and make it your own and what fits for your garden. That's what's so fun about all these videos.
Absolutely. It's like lemony lavender though. It's so bright. I'm going, hold on, this. Oh, look at your bee balm. I like the bee balm and oh, look at the butterfly bush with the yellow. I like that. Oh, I really like this. Look at your mushrooms. Look, this is some happy soil. Every time I find mushrooms, I'm like, I'm doing something right.
No.
Oh. Look, the day I come, the daylilies are in all their glory. Look, she's yeah. I see your Russian sage up there, and I have been a long time fan. I cannot keep it alive to save my life. So what are you doing with that Russian sage?
So up there on that spot, it is hotter than Hades.
Okay.
And it is dry. So this is the same sweet potato vine that we planted at the chicken coop. And it just goes, it just spreads and spreads. Yes. So yeah, so it's hot and dry and bad soil. This smell, it is, I mean, it reminds me of lavender, but it's still quite unique from it. It is, but it's all in that like herbaceous minty family. Yes. All right, here's the nursery center. If you have never heard of Creekside, oh my gosh, people come here from literally all over the state to shop here. So I get to go and pick out a few things to go by our front porch. So let's go down there and get into trouble. I mean, that's a little hot, but it's got yellow in it. I love this better yellow. And you know, on the other side of my stairs, so like here's a picture of what it looks like now. On the other side of my stairs, I could echo some of the yellow to make it cohesive. One thing, when we landscape left and right side of the houses, sometimes it looks really good if it's two different landscapes, but mine is not long enough. It needs to be cohesive. So I need to pull the colors together Yes.
just to
And that's
give it
what,
some
because like
symmetry.
that's what you've always taught me, was that if you have two flower beds, and I say they're sisters or they're cousins, they're not identical twins.
Right.
So when you have either the same color or the same plant on both sides and it's repeated, then it brings those spaces in together.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. You should echo color as much as you can, as much as makes sense.
Yes.
And I think we'll go with these sun-loving, drier climate-loving, because I don't have irrigation there. So I think as much as I love this limoncello over here, they really love water.
Yeah.
The petunias do. So to give myself a break, I think this is a great choice, and especially with that lavender, which notoriously does not want to be overwatered.
No. No.
All right.
And that's the best way to kill lavenders, to give it too much water.
Right.
Yep.
Well, let's start filling up our cart.
There you go.
All right, so we have the plants in the back. I hope that I will make my garden almost as beautiful as Jenny's. One day, we'll get there.
No, 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 no. It's not. No. Comparison is the thief of joy.
That is true, but inspiration.
Inspiration,
Definitely.
yes.
I've gotten a lot of expensive inspiration. So we are now going to go over and move the chickens into their new coop. This is where we leave you today. I'm going to run home and get those planted. It's going to look beautiful. Thanks for joining in to just see this place that is so special to me, and to meet the woman that has really, I mean, just changed a lot of my life. And of course, chickens are a life changer too. If you have chickens, you know how that goes. So I'm not going to be surprised when this turns into 100.
Math. No chicken math.
I'm taking bets right now about what chicken math is going to do to her. Anyway, that's all for today's video. I'm going to show you the planting once it's done, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.